I'm
Okay,
ready,
so
Sumit.
yeah, okay, so let's begin. So today we are going to see the demo of our IPD software. Last time we saw our clinic version. So let's see the features which are there in our paid software. So let me just log in. Okay, so this was the screen which you saw earlier in the OPD section as well, or the OPD demo as well. So this was the home screen for OPD. Now from here, we can go to the IPD section or IPD disk using this profile and my IPD disk option. Now this is the screen of IPD disk where we can see by default the list of all IPD patients. Okay, so the features here which we are going to discuss primarily are admissions of patients. Then there are things which we can do during the course of admission. There are some things related to payments, and then we are going to see discharge and final billing. Okay,
Okay, so
so
I have a
yeah,
question here.
yeah,
So many, hospitals usually need a unique ID of the patient,
right,
uh, so which we call as UHID.
right.
So does the software allow UHID creation?
Yes. So if you see here, the selected patient's details are shown up in this right-hand side section. So there is this label as patient UID 331. So this
Okay.
patient
Okay.
is will be available, or we can refer this patient even in the OPD section by same ID. We can see the details. Let's say after discharge, if the patient comes to OPD for follow-up, if we go to the past details, we will be able to see the IPD discharge summary of that patient in the OPD past visit details with the
Okay.
same ID of this patient. So yes, this feature is there. We can add the patients with the UID.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So let's quickly admit some patients or let some patient. So this is the list of all patients from where we can just select a patient like this, and we can go to this admit option. Okay, now here we can see past OPD or IPD discharge details of this patient by just clicking on the date. Then there is a main option which is this admission details where we can set the date or time of the admission. We can select the bed on which we are going to admit this patient, and we need to select the consultant doctor first. Then we can add the reason for admission, something like this. Okay, or maybe like this. So these things are mandatory. Other things are like this MLC number, FIR number, or some referral details, which if they are applicable, we can add them. Or right now, I'm just skipping them and we'll go to next section. In this section, we can just add provisional diagnosis or some complaints like this. Okay, and there are details like this key findings or the physical examination at the time of admission. So we can add some uh, BP or temperature here like this. And in next section, we can add some history like this surgical history or family history if it is required. And we can simply click on this admit option. And now the patient is admitted. Okay, so let's
Okay.
go back, and then there is an option of all admitted patient list where we can just see the list of admitted patients. Okay, so these many patients are admitted on these beds under these consultants. Now if I go to this summary option again, there are some options where we can quickly add details which are related to the admissions, like vitals, investigations of this patient, or medicines. Okay, or if we need to update some things like let's say if we have admitted patient in the ICU section and if we are shifting that patient let's after a few days to general ward, so we can change the bed from here. Apart from that, there are some things like print forms, okay, and if surgery details are there, if we are performing some surgeries in our hospital, so we can add those details here as well in this section.
Okay.
Okay, so that is one
Okay.
thing. Then another important thing here, during the course of admission, which we need usually is the this payments and services option. So whatever services patient is using during the course of admission, we can add them here. Now we have separate option for the configuration where we can add services as well as we can create packages of the services. So certain times if we are going to need certain type of services for a particular case, so we can create a predefined package of services like this and we can use it. Okay, so here we have created this package with these many services where we can just
Okay. So
yeah.
you basically created a COVID-19 package
Yeah, right.
with all the charges that typically, no, I did not get. Yeah, in the hospital.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, let's say for COVID-19, this rapid antigen test is required, or this
Mm-hmm.
RT-PCR is required. So instead of adding them again and again for every patient of that kind, we have just created a package where we have included all those services along with their charges. So we don't need to add them every time.
Okay.
At certain times, let's say if we have not conducted some test for a particular patient, so we can remove it like this. And
Okay.
if we need to uh, change some charges in particular case, so here let me just quickly do that like this. Okay,
Okay.
so this is how we can quickly add some services, and that saves our time of typing.
Okay. Right.
Okay, now here in the amount section, we can just add the amount which is getting
But can
paid.
you
Yeah,
keep it as balance? Let's say the patient is not paying now,
right. So let's add something like this 10,000 maybe. Okay,
or you can keep it zero. Can you keep it zero?
yeah, we
Is
can
that allowed?
keep it zero. Yes, yes. So there are different cases of payments like we can pay advance amount certain times at certain hospitals if it is required. Okay, so they can add advance payment here, or they can add part payment here, or they can just save the details without payment. So right now, as we are doing it,
Okay.
we will just proceed without payment. So at the final bill, at the time of final billing, the balance will be shown up in that on that screen. So
Okay.
yeah, at the time of final bill, we can settle that payment. Okay, so
Okay. But where did we end? I mean, I did not see the discharge card because I think.
yes, yes. So let's quickly go back and let's create a discharge card. So these are the things which are required during the course of admission. Now, if we go to this discharge option, okay, so there are things which we can add during the time of discharge. Now, there are some things like this treating consultant, final diagnosis, key investigations. So few things are mandatory here, which we need to add. But there is a quick way of adding this discharge summary. So we can create templates of this discharge summary and we can link it with the diagnosis. So for example, there is this case where we have created a template. So we'll just use it. And if you see, all the things are filled up from the template itself.
Okay.
Okay, so that reduces our efforts of typing again. and we don't need to type all these things. Okay.
So who creates these templates? I mean,
Yeah, so that there is a separate option to create these templates. So let's close this window, for instance, and there is an option of IPD templates here where we can create this diagnosis template. Okay,
mhm.
now the option is available. Means it depends who is going to create the template. So it can be created either by doctors themselves or some staff member. If that person is allowed to do that, they can create that. Okay.
Okay,
So if the template is created, uh, like we saw earlier, we can just use that like this. Okay.
okay.
Once the template is used, again, if we need to do some changes, like if this investigation is not applicable, we can just simply delete it, or we can modify some content if it is necessary.
So this is basically based on a case by case basis, is it what you're saying?
Right. So for a particular patient, if certain things are not applicable or certain things need some changes, so we can do that.
Okay,
Now, if we go to the bottom of this screen, we have these details like follow-up details. So if we need to give the follow-up, we can add these details. And there is an option as save as draft. So if certain things are needed to be added at the time of admission or during the course of admission, so we can add them and save them as a draft. Okay, so at by this way we don't need to add everything at the time of discharge, or we can just add things at the time of discharge and we can simply discharge this patient.
so can my assistant doctors create this discharge summary on the other computer and I can see it on my computer?
Right, sure. They can create these discharge summaries on other computers, and we can see them on main computers or doctor computers or another staff's computer as well. So, like we talked in the OPD section, there is a need of connection through, let's say, wireless LAN or Wi-Fi LAN, wired LAN. So, in the same way, we need to connect computers for IPD also. And
Okay.
yeah, once they are connected, we can uh, do the stuff in similar way.
So then, is internet required for this?
No, again, the internet is not required, but the computers are needed to be connected to, let's say, Wi-Fi router. So even if
Okay.
certain instances internet is not available, as they are connected uh, through the local network, they will still be able to function.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So now let's see the discharge summary. So this is how your discharge summary or the discharge card will look like. It will include the patient patient's details like admission date or admission number, and the things which we have added at the time of admission, and
Mhm.
things which added at the time of discharge. So
Okay.
it will look like this. This is the first page, and this is the second page.
Okay. So, can this get printed on my hospital uh, stationery that we have?
Yeah, right. So this can be printed on your own hospital stationery. We just need to change a few settings related to the headers, and then we can print these documents on your own letterheads or your own stationery. If you choose to
Okay.
print it from our software, you will be able to print your own logo here or the hospital details in
Mm-hmm.
this. Okay.
Okay, like so for example, if you use the plain paper, you mean?
Yeah, right. So if you print this discharge summary on the plain paper, you can add your own logo in the header, or you can print that clinic or hospital's name in this manner. Like you can
Okay.
print the name in the colors, different colors.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So this is how we can create discharge card, and
Right.
then there is an option of final bill. So let's quickly create a final bill like this. So now if I click on the final bill option, I can see the things for which we are charging. So this was actually the package which we are added earlier. Okay, and as we are talking, it is showing the balance amount here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now before saving this bill, we need to just accept the pending amount, which is this 15620. There are different ways through which we can accept the payment: cash, check, credit card, debit card. There are options to add details about these payment options. Let's select the cash for now, and now the payment is saved.
Okay.
So
So here for the demo purpose, you basically added COVID-19 in the billing package, I believe,
yeah, right.
and the discharge was something else,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right. So the discharge was about this case of acute appendicitis, and
All right.
yeah, we chose the COVID-19 package for billing. So that was about
Okay.
just for demo
For
purpose.
the demo. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Okay. Now, if I close this window, the bill is already saved,
Mm-hmm.
and if I print the final bill, it will look like this.
That's easy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the bill has this bill summary, detail breakup. Okay.
Okay.
Now these are the things for which we have charged, and these are the payment details. If I go to the second page, it has this payment summary, which shows the dates and times on which the payment has happened.
Got it.
Okay, so the bill is basically very clear, and it is very useful even for the in the cases of insurances and claim settlements.
Okay.
Okay, so this was actually the flow uh, from the admission to the discharge and the final bill.
Yeah. So I have one question. So here you have shown admission and then I believe discharge and the bill.
Right,
But in our cases, what happens is uh, there are cases where the patient's vitals get measured, or some urine output gets measured, or blood pressure gets measured after periodic intervals.
right, right,
The prescription gets adjusted during the stay of the hospital.
right.
Uh, so, is
So
there a way to capture that?
yes, right. So if you see here, let's choose some patient, and let's go to this summary option. Now here there are options. First is this vitals and investigations. Okay, here we can add details like this. Okay, so it will show up on that particular date. So by this way we can measure daily vitals or daily investigations or there is a separate option for medicines as well. Here you can see already added medicines. Okay, and yeah, means if we have skipped some details like complaints of this patient or some provisional diagnosis, that can be added here. Okay.
Can you go again to the vitals section?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So there are, so where are the other parameters, like how do I add say some blood creatinine or something?
Right. Right. So there are these parameters which are shown up in here, which are applicable, let's say, in our hospital. But if we need to add some more parameters, there is this vital master option where we can add new parameters. Okay.
Okay.
In a similar way, there is an option for investigations. So this is again a restricted list of investigations which are right now available. But if we need to add some more investigations, like you said, for creatinine, for example, so we can just select it as applicable and we can use them for patients.
Okay.
Okay, so now they are also
Okay. Got
added
it. Got
here.
it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I can select the date and time and then make entries. So
Right.
so that date can be changed, right? If
Yes, right. So you can change that date. So let's say yesterday we missed to add the vitals or investigation. So we can just select that date and we can add the values for that date. Okay,
okay.
like this.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Understood.
this was about the query you asked.
Yeah, and the medicines, I can you show it again, like the prescriptions during the admission stage?
Yeah, right. So medicines part is available here. So if I go to this add new option, so we need to add medicine, type the name of medicine. So let's say PAN 40, for example, and we can directly select the combination which is available here, and we can set the duration if it is required, and just click on OK. Okay. So yeah, this is how new medicine can be added.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What's the nursing chart there?
So the nursing and treatment chart are two options which we can use. So basically, what happens here is they show the medicines which are needed to be given on this particular day. For in this case, it is showing today's treatment chart. So today, these many medicines are needed to be given. Right now, it is just one medicine. But whatever medicines are needed to be given today, they will show up here. And the nursing chart is basically where we can add the time or the comment for this medicine if it is given or not given. Okay, we
So
can,
the nurses basically or the staff
yeah, staff
people can.
members can refer these charts to give medicines to patients.
Okay.
Yeah, for that it is useful.
Fine.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so these are the things basically which we can add when the patient is admitted. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few more things which we can discuss here. As you see, there is an option of print forms. So there are certain times we need to print consent forms for certain things like surgeries. Okay, so those forms can be printed from here. So there is
Okay.
this admission form or some forms which are already created, which you can directly use. But if you need to create your own forms, so let's go back. There is an option as forms and or documents where you can create your own forms which are needed for your own hospital.
So can you show the sample of how the surgical consent looks like?
Yeah, so this is how it looks like. Now this is a form which we have created.
Okay.
If a certain content needs some updation, needs some changes, so we can just select that and we can change it.
Can you like show how it looks like on paper, like maybe?
Sure. So this is the preview. Now this is a general preview. We can see here. Okay, like this. It will look like this.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this has come with the name of the patient, is it?
Yeah, so the details of the patient will be there, like the patient's UID or admission number, admission date, bed number. So you don't need to add those details. Let's say, in case of handwritten forms, we need to fill out these details for every patient. So in this case, we don't need to do that, and
Mhm.
everything will be there already printed. We just need to uh, go through the things, and finally, we just need to take the signature of the patient or the relatives.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is one feature which we have along with other things.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, do we have any
So
queries again?
the forms that you mentioned,
Yeah.
uh, can they have no, I mean, can they be written in Hindi or like that?
Yeah,
Other languages?
definitely. Yes. So as you can create your own forms here. So there is an option of add new forms. Now here in this content section, you can type the content in, let's say, Hindi, Marathi, or any regional language, and the form will get printed accordingly. So while
Okay.
creating the form, you need to do that, and you can print the forms in your own regional language.
Okay. So, I mean, your team would help us to
Yes,
get these forms, right? Because
yeah, definitely. Because
that,
lots of times it might not be possible, or uh, doctors or their staff need help while typing these kind of things. So we definitely help them uh, to create these forms, or if they need the guidance on how to create the forms in regional language. So yeah, we guide them.
okay.
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 Yeah. So do you have any more queries now?
No, I think just one I had was you showed the billing package.
Right.
There are cases where sometimes we don't have packages. We do billing based on just some services that or some things that were done to the patient, like, whether
Right.
physiotherapy was done or whether something was done.
Right.
So how is that handled?
Yeah. So that can be done in similar way. So let's just select the patient again. We can go to this payments and services option. Now, instead of selecting the package, we can select an individual service like this. Okay. And you can see the total amount. And again, like we were talking earlier, amount can be added at the time, or we can just save it without payment. So we can just
Okay.
click on the save option. We can proceed without payment.
So our services are typically have different rates based on different bed types.
Right.
So how do I do that?
Now, the services can be added from this option, profile and my services. By default, it shows the list of available services in our hospital. Now, there are different categories under which you can add your own services, and you can add new service from here. And as you said, if they are having different charges, according to the categories of beds. So there is this IPD charges option, under which if you see, if you click on this view option, you have this option to enter charges for general bed, charges for semi-private, private. So in case, let's say there are different charges for uh, different categories.
So don't change your pathology. Show me some non-pathology because we don't
Okay,
want. I mean, these are all lab tests. What about
right.
regular hospital things that happen?
Okay, so something like this can be done, like let's say OT charges are there. Okay,
Okay,
where there is an item like this OT gases. Okay, so we can add some charge. So different charges for different categories. Okay. So let's say for general bed we need to add or we need 100 rupees, or for same private 200, 300, and let's say 500. So this is how we can add the charges, and we can simply save the charges. Okay, now let's mark it as applicable and just save the details. So now if when we will use the charge there in this payments and services option, we can use or we will see the charge according to the bed type. Okay, now as the category is private, as we added earlier, 300 rupees. Okay, they are shown up in here.
okay,
So yeah, means to answer your question again, we can add service charges according to the categories of the bed.
okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's save the charges again. So the details are saved now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this was about how to add the services or the charges and how to use them individually.
And now, suppose I want to see a list of all the patients who have got discharged uh, in like this month. Is there a way to see reports like that?
Yeah, so there are two ways. One is just quickly you can see like this all admitted list is there. In the same way, you can see discharge on particular date. Here, let's say if you want to see today's discharges, so you can see that here quickly. But if you need to see a detailed report, we have an option for that. There is this IPD reports option
Mm-hmm.
where you have this discharge report and you can select the date. Now there are different types. Let's say if you just want to see surgical discharges, so you can do that. Right now, let's see all patients. And if you want to see this month's discharge details or details for from a particular time span like this, so you just need to select the date and show report, and you will get that report. Now this report has the details like admission date, discharge date, duration, diagnosis. Okay.
Okay.
And in a similar way, you can see the report for services also. Okay, these are the services which are used these many times,
Mm-hmm.
and these are the details of the services. So you can see for this patient, this service was used, this much was the charge. Okay, these are the details of that patient.
Okay.
And along with that, there are different reports like this consultant billing report is there. So if there are different visiting consultants and if you are managing their charges, so you can see that report here. Okay. Similarly, you can see IPD collection report for a particular time span like this. You can
Mm-hmm.
see referral report if somebody has referred some patients to you. If you need to track or if you need to keep the track of those patients. So right now there is no report. So you will get those details here, and you can get a billing report like this. So these many bills are generated in this particular span, and there is this master report. So master report is basically a summarized way to see these things. So here you can see some OPD details also
Mm-hmm.
along with this IPD collection summary.
So the earlier reports, can they basically be exported to?
Yes, yes. So you can export these reports to, let's say, Excel file. You can, if you need to take a printout or if you need to send uh, those report to someone over email, so you can do that.
Okay.
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 Yeah. So is there any uh, more queries?
Yeah. So I actually saw some uh, ad of yours which said about printing of labels.
Right. So that is about admitted patients. So let's go back to admitted patients list. Now, if I select some patient here, there is this admission label option, which basically shows the details of admission. Uh, so let's print one label, and it will show these details like QHID of the patient or date and patient name. Okay.
Okay. So this basically will get printed on the label.
Yeah, these can be printed on the label, which we can then use, like we can stick it on the file of the patient or in different ways which
Okay.
are required.
Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and I believe there is some app you got.
Yeah, so we have this MyOPD all-in-one app, which you can use on your phones, whether it is an Android phone or iPhone. And in that app, you will see the information or the quick summarized information of how many patients are admitted on a particular day, or discharge related details, or the payment related details. So yeah, that is the app which you can use on the phone,
Okay.
whether it is an iPhone or Android phone. It is available on both platforms.
You have like sample screenshots that you can show
Definitely,
me.
yeah. So let's go to the Play Store, and here if you search MyOPD, okay, let me just quickly go back. So the link is here in the application itself, which we can see under OPD section, and this is the app which we can install on the phone. Now here if you see, there are different things you can see. Now these are the patients in the OPD, but if we go here, so these are the details which we can see, like total admitted patient, discharges, admitted patient list on that particular day,
Okay.
and yeah, that is this is about uh, accounting related things. So you can see IPD collection, or the services details on your phone. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So right now we are seeing this on the Play Store, but same app is available on the iPhone store as well, App Store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can use it on the iPhone as well, or if you have an iPad, so you can use that application.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So uh, do you have any more queries?
No, I'm done.
Okay. So on this note, then let's stop our screen session or this demo session. And thank you so much for joining our demo. And uh, let's uh, let's hope that we will have some great opportunities to work together in future as well. Okay, so
Sure,
we are
sure.
looking forward to use uh, looking forward that you use this software, and let's see how it works for you.
Sure.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah,
Thank you. Bye.
thanks a lot.